evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Funny Bone here. People, as y'all know, Funny Bone is going through a death in the family. It's rough. Thanks to my neighbor, he brought me some ocean spray, cran grape pineapple. But people, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we just made a lie out of this label, because that's not what's in it. He gave me something to lift my spirits, and I'm gonna try it now. Well, I don't know about lifting my spirits, but it's gonna lift my head. I know that. But anyway, people, I'm browsing today, and you remember Jack Smith's testimony against Donald Trump, and it said all hell break loose as Trump dark past surfaces. Yeah, it's gonna always surface. All this stuff catching up with Donald Trump all at the same time, like I told y'all it would. And Jack Smith's basis for his charges rests entirely with Trump. Trump was found guilty of all this stuff. Jack Smith had all the evidence he needed to go to trial, but of course Donald Trump won, and that stopped that. But it didn't stop the evidence. It didn't stop all this case from being on the books, and it's on the books already. So yeah, the charges is gonna stick as soon as Donald Trump is either impeached or the end of his term. That's why it's very significant to impeach him, because once he's impeached, he's just an ordinary citizen. But unlike all the other ordinary citizens, Donald Trump's going to do a nosedive. And I ain't talking about no damn pool. He's going to do a nosedive. From freedom to prison. It's coming, people. I've been telling y'all it's coming, and it's coming. Thanks to Donald Trump. Jack Smith's testimony was, wow, powerful. Powerful. But like I told y'all, Rome wasn't built in a day. This stuff takes processing and all this stuff. We just getting the tip end of it. Remember I told you the last video, giving you the scoop. The conclusion coming later. Just keep watching. That remind me, y'all hit that thumbs up. Do the funds for me. Some of y'all my age know the fund was big back then when we was coming up in the 80s. So y'all do the funds for me. Say, hey, hit that thumbs up. Because this story you're going to like, you're going to find compelling. And it's facts. When I'm going to deal with facts, it's facts, people. Donald Trump is the heathen that I've been telling y'all. And all this, I just heard some more stuff about Epstein. And I ain't going to even talk about that right now. I'm talking about the other stuff. Fill y'all in on this side first. Y'all take a listen.
Evidence here made clear that President Trump was, by a large measure, the most culpable and most responsible person in this conspiracy. These crimes were committed for his benefit. The attack that happened at the Capitol, as part of this case, does not happen without him.
So did you develop evidence that President Trump was responsible for the violence at the Capitol on January 6th?
So our view of the evidence was that he caused it, and that he exploited it, and that it was foreseeable to him. The decision to bring charges against President Trump was mine, but the basis for those charges rests entirely with President Trump and his actions.
People, let me tell you something. You can't spell it out no plainer than that. You can't spell it out no plainer. Donald Trump will be in prison right now. will be in prison right now if he hadn't won the election. Just like I told y'all. But Donald Trump, since he's been back in office, has expedited that with his actions and his law breaking and all the stuff they uncovered about his money laundering, fraud, and all this stuff. So yeah, Donald Trump is a vessel for a lot of corruption, a lot of money laundering, and a lot of people rely on Donald Trump to get paid illegally. And the government has depicted all of it. That's why I keep telling y'all, prison is going to be full. I say stuff for a reason, people. Prison is going to be full. And rightfully so. So they finna break it down to y'all and tell y'all how this heathen did all this stuff. Pay close attention. And in the comments, if anything compel you by what you hear, please give me a comment. Find will be waiting on you.
Okay, so let me just start by telling you about the convergence of scandals hitting Trump from multiple directions at once, because his dark past is being dragged back into the spotlight from 3 angles simultaneously: the renewed focus on Jeffrey Epstein files and Trump's years of amplifying conspiracy theories about them, Jack Smith's damning special counsel report documenting his unprecedented campaign to overturn the 2020 election, and the long record of sexual misconduct allegations, including E. Jean Carroll, whom a federal jury found he sexually abused. These controversies are resurfacing just as Trump is threatening to send troops into American streets, sanctioning international judges, and pushing aggressive foreign policy that has allies alarmed. But before we go any further, real quick.
Like I said, people, his own actions. His own actions. Donald Trump is going to go down, like I told y'all, is the worst traitor and everything else that we've ever had. The worst threat that we've ever had in the White House and to America is Donald Trump. He's going to go down as that, people. And for good reason. And I was telling y'all about the most famous one of all was Benedict Arnold, the most famous traitor. You can go and put Donald Trump on that list. I can tell y'all that right now. You can go and put Donald Trump on the list because he's going to be head of that list.
In the description to join, and it takes like...
Let me tell y'all something. Donald Trump has done a whole lot of evil stuff. Donald Trump is going to be exposed to the fullest. And it couldn't happen to a better person. I'm telling you. Wait till, like I said, all the stuff that's going to be uncovered with Epstein, the magnitude of all the stuff that he's done, all the money laundering, all the stuff he's done, illegal wars. Donald Trump going straight to prison. Straight. I'm telling y'all. And that's where he needs to be.
Let's get back to the video, because understanding how these past scandals connect to Trump's current conduct matters for evaluating the pattern across decades.
The Justice Department has now released a big new batch of documents in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. And these include new details about Epstein's one-time friendship with President Trump. Look, there is a lot to go through. We said it's like more than 10,000 pages. So we're digging through this. But this is what is seen so far. In a 2020 email, an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York wrote that Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet, quote, more times than previously has been reported, at least 8 times between 1993 and 96.
8 times.
Now, on a flight in 1993, according to the email, there was just 3 passengers, Trump, Epstein, and what's described as a 20-year-old woman. Being mentioned...
Y'all hear that? 3 passengers, Donald Trump, Epstein, and a 20-year-old woman. What y'all think they weren't going to pick grapes? They weren't just going sightseeing. I'm telling y'all, Donald Trump is going to be caught up with, he is worse than Epstein. Before it all said and done, it's going to come out. He was just as bad or worse. than Epstein. And the world is going to find out pretty fast.
In a trove of investigatory documents does not demonstrate criminal wrongdoing, a reminder. And Trump has not been accused of being involved in Epstein's crimes.
Not yet.
On Monday, the president did seem dismayed that the release of any and all of these files, though, could harm the reputations of individuals he said, quote, innocently met Epstein. Now, remember, he is the man who also signed into law last month, the measure requiring the Justice Department.
So here's what's resurfacing and why it matters now. The Epstein connection is getting renewed scrutiny after House Democrats released emails suggesting Epstein believed Trump knew more about his activities than he's acknowledged.
Oh, he did.
A Reuters analysis described Trump's Teflon image as being tested by the Epstein saga. New questions are emerging about the extent of Trump's awareness and association with the disgraced financier. The irony is that Trump and his allies spent years stoking dark theories about an Epstein client list. They used the Epstein case as political weapon, suggesting that their enemies were on some secret list of Epstein associates. But a Justice Department statement said there was no such list, undercutting Trump's own narratives and fueling blowback over why he weaponized the case in the first place. The special counsel report represents different kind of documented scandal. Jack Smith's final report concluded that Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election and his retention of classified documents were so serious that the principles of federal prosecution compelled indicting him. This wasn't discretionary or marginal. Smith found the evidence required prosecution under standard application of law. The report detailed an unprecedented campaign to cling to power after losing, pressure on officials to change results, manufacturing fake electors to substitute for real ones, directing a mob to the Capitol on January 6th. The documented conduct reads as systematic attempt to overturn election results through multiple parallel schemes. The sexual misconduct record adds personal dimension to the pattern. ABC News and CBS track at least 18 women who have accused Trump of misconduct. This isn't single allegation that might be disputed. It's pattern across many accusers over many years. The consistency of the pattern makes dismissal as political attack difficult. The E. Jean Carroll case produced legal validation beyond allegation. A federal jury found Trump sexually abused Carroll. This isn't accusation waiting for adjudication. It's finding by jury that he did what he was accused of doing. The civil judgment reinforces that these aren't just political attacks, but legally validated claims. The convergence matters because it makes dismissing any single scandal harder. Trump's standard defense is that each accusation is a hoax, isolated political attack by enemies. But when Epstein questions, election subversion documentation, and sexual abuse findings all surface simultaneously, the hoax narrative strains. The pattern across different types of conduct, different time periods, and different forums creates cumulative picture. The connection to current conduct matters for evaluating the through line. The man threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act against Minneapolis protesters is the same man with 18 sexual misconduct accusers. The man sanctioning ICC judges to protect himself from international accountability is the same man who directed fake elector scheme. The man demanding Greenland one way or the other is the same man whose Teflon is being tested by Epstein connections. The pattern suggests consistent approach to power and people, willingness to exploit people for personal benefit, willingness to bend or break rules when they interfere with his goals, willingness to use whatever power is available, regardless of constraints. The past scandals and current conduct share common elements. The timing of this convergence isn't coincidental. Opponents, journalists, and some Republicans see Trump's second-term power grab as dangerous. They're reopening unresolved scandals, from sex abuse to coup attempts, to build a bigger case against him. The political context makes past scandals newly relevant for 2026. The dark past surfaces framing captures how these old controversies are being pulled back into present-day political combat. The Epstein questions never went away. They're getting new attention. The special counsel report was released in January 2025, but its documented evidence remains available. The sexual misconduct record is decades old, but includes recent legal findings. The Teflon-tested language from Reuters captures the question of whether these scandals stick. Trump has survived controversy that would destroy other politicians. But the convergence of multiple scandal types, criminal, sexual, financial, constitutional, creates different challenge than any single accusation. The weight may be cumulative, where individual scandals weren't sufficient. Let's break down exactly what each...
let me break it down to y'all just 1 second. Donald Trump is in bad trouble. Bad trouble. This Epstein stuff getting ready to come up. Y'all heard you got 18 accusers right now. And they just now started releasing stuff with Epstein. Wait till they find out the magnitude of his connection with Epstein and the crimes that they committed together. That's all coming out. Thanks to the survivors that's telling their stories about those two heathens. And that's the reason why Ghislaine Maxwell is not cooperating with Donald Trump, because she knows that Donald Trump is involved way more than anybody thinks. And she probably thinking like Funny Bone that Donald Trump had something to do with the demise of Epstein. It's gonna come out. That's one of my theories. It's gonna come out. You don't try to bury something this hard and for this long unless it's really, really bad, people. The longer you try to keep something buried, the heinous and the severity at that time when it was happening is going to be evident. We in uncharted territory with Donald Trump. No one has ever done none of this kind of stuff. Ever. They are changing laws, going back and checking the Constitution, and making sure it's upheld because of these heathens. And I told y'all, they might try to impeach the whole Trump administration. But it's just like a storm. We got to weather it. Congress got to bite down and say, look, we got to go on and get rid of this heathen. We got to go on and do what we got to do. It's just like a cancer. You don't get rid of it, it's going to grow. Donald Trump is cancerous to the United States and everywhere else that don't net him a profit that he can't steal from. That's his whole motivation, is stealing money, redirecting money from our pockets to his, illegally obtain his whole entire fortune fraudulently, similar to Mr. Epstein. They both got rich the sleazy way because they were bosom buddies for over 10 years. And then Donald Trump went to try to go into politics, so he couldn't be the heathen in public that he once was. He had to try to start doing it in private. But see, when you try to do stuff in private, the people that's keeping it private, you got to make sure they 100% loyal. When they're not, you a sitting duck. Donald Trump looked like Daffy Duck anyway. He's a sitting duck. And there's only a matter of time before all his feathers get plucked. The feds are plucking at him every day. So people, I saw this. Wanted to bring it to y'all. Like I said, y'all hit the funds for me. Hit them thumbs up. Share the video. Because stuff like this need to get played about what Jack Smith said. We need to know all the content of what's happening in court. Because court is what counts. Donald Trump is a free man because of privilege and because of the office he holds only. But the first day that he's a free man, he's going to be a convicted man. People Funny Bone love y'all. Like I said, say a prayer for the McMahon and Littles family. It's rough on us right now. But Saint, you would have wanted me to go on. And it's going to be a different world without her. But we all got to make that sacrifice one day, people. We just passing through here. We're visiting. Our eternal home waits us. Whether it's a good one or a bad one. Because remember, the Almighty is always watching. Always. And the government now made that step to expel Donald Trump finally. He still got a few loyal people that's stopping it from being right now. That's the only thing, but it's only a matter of time, people. Because when all this stuff come out about Epstein and all this stuff hit Donald Trump all at the same time, when they find out what kind of weasel Donald Trump really is, that's when the chain is going to burst. They're going to realize Donald Trump is exactly what Funny Bone been saying he is, and what the government been saying he is. But guess what? Nothing lasts forever, good or bad. Nothing lasts forever, especially corruption, fraud, money laundering, kidnapping, murder, war crimes, breaking the Constitution. Donald Trump's done everything except sing too loud in church. Told y'all that. Then he had the nerve to try to sell some Bibles. Satan himself trying to sell Bibles. So, people, like I said, when your true colors come out, you just like a comedian. People watch you change colors, but they know you damn comedian. That's what they happened to Donald Trump. The biggest comedian of them all. So, Funny Bone, love y'all. Y'all have a good evening. Y'all share the video, like the video. Become a member of the channel. You see Funny Bone behind the scenes. Membership is gonna have this privilege. Y'all will see the real funny side of Funny Bone and why I got my name. I'm serious right now because of this heat in Donald Trump and the whole Trump administration. So the fun thing is gonna come. Y'all support the channel, become a member. I promise you won't regret it. And encourage other people to become members. Because it's going to be some perks in there. Funny Bone, love y'all. Have a beautiful night.